Welcome to the Shellonomics Podcast, your source for pure Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles entertainment, presented by King Mictus.
All right, guys, you have been waiting for this for a long time. I've been getting emails on the side. When are you going to talk IDW? When are you going to talk IDW? Well, fear not, because today our good friend Christian is back, and we are starting the IDW Marathon. Bro, this series has gone on for a long, long time. I started reading them when they first came out. I went up to, I believe, Bebop and Rocksteady Conquer the Universe, and then just life or something, and I fell off. And I gotta say, rereading these, it's getting me jacked up to break these all down with you. And probably another reason was I was like, oh, where's the ending? I usually like waiting until the ending comes so I can binge. I've been trained with that with Netflix and Hulu now, so it is here. This full, I want to say it's 18 books. I could be wrong there. Christian's going to point it out. But dude, how excited were you hearing about this IDW series?
Oh, man. It was back in 2011 when this series started, and it was said it's a complete reboot, it's a complete new universe, everything is different, and I was really interested, like, okay, because back then it was Mirage and not much else. So yeah, I was totally interested, and it turned out that this series was really, it became like the ultimate universe. Not that it's like the best universe or anything. It's great, no doubt about it, but it feels like, like Marvel Ultimate, when they reinvent everything and bring in characters that you already know, and maybe even storylines that you already know, but give it a twist, like something new, like we're gonna find out, like Krang is a different Krang, and the Turtles have a completely different background, but they're still the Turtles, so it's very interesting. Like, they take characters, they still do this to this day. The series, this universe is still ongoing, and they still take characters from the classic cartoon, from the Mirage universe, from the Archie universe, and so on and so forth, and put them into, like, like, create them anew, like they bring something new into this universe, like like, I don't know, you remember Baxter Stockman? Well, we have Baxter Stockman, but he's not the Baxter Stockman you remember. He's a little different, and so on and so forth. And they also like to bring in, like, some obscure characters. Like, way back, we get characters from Fast Forward season from 2003, and like the Grivix and stuff like this. They all come into this, and it feels also organic, and it's one huge universe. And to this day, I'm still a big fan of this whole IDW comic series, and yeah, it's still really, really cool.
It has left its impact on this franchise, no doubt. There have been Kickstarter games out there for board games. You have a TMNT Munchkin game based off the IDW series. We'll talk about that, I'm sure, in a future episode. I'm with you all the way too, Christian. I feel this is almost like TMNT All-Stars. We're going to take the best of the best from every generation, throw it all into one jam-packed series, and I just love the writing of Tom Waltz. He does the job so good with the Easter egg flow. We're going to spoil one right off the bat because I was so excited to see it, but Chet has returned, and I'm just so excited to call all these with you and cover them all, because since the get-go, we are here now. This is 2011, like you said. We've done just about everything in the past. We are here, well, past, in the 80s and stuff, but right now it's 2011, and the artwork on these books is just so cool. I mean, we're breaking down books 1 and 2, which respectively have anywhere between 17 to 18 issues, and I'm sure Christian's going to brag about just how great it is for a beginner to this series to get started, because you don't have to go fishing like, wait a minute, there's a micro series of Leonardo, where do I have to read that? No, they do it for you in these books. And dude, how cool is it just seeing, like, the focus turtle on each one, or focus character on these huge collection books?
Yeah. These IDW collections, they are just perfect. As you said, because there are a lot micro-series, mini-series, specials, whatever. And with these collections, you grab the IDW collection and you have all of them in there. Everything that's canon to the series is in there in chronological order. And it's just so, there's just so very nice books. Just have them on the bookshelf, and as you said, like have the turtles on the front or even other characters. And it's really, these books are perfect. They're just amazing for every turtle fan.
Yeah, so without further ado, let's get started into this huge grind. Christian and I have figured out there's some stories that intertwine, so we're going to kind of combine them like we've done with TV show miniseries. So in the beginning, it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but it was not the Fabulous Fearsome Foursome. It was only the threesome, according to this book right here, as Christian's going to break down. It's a little crazy in the start.
Yeah, because in the very first issue that came out way back in August of 2011, can you imagine that? And yeah, there we get right into the action with the first issue where Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, and Splinter are fighting Mutant Cat and his gang. The cat is called Old Hob, but Raphael is missing. And all turtles are wearing red. Yeah, classic callback to the Mirage comics. And yeah, during all this, we also get some flashbacks. Like 18 months earlier, we see at StockGen, we see April, who is an intern at StockGen. Yeah, that's the company by Baxter Stockman. And we see that there are some baby turtles and a little red Splinter, and they experiment on them. And we also meet Baxter Stockman for the first time, who is the boss of this company, who is working with a mysterious man named General Krang. And we also find out that April is the one who named the turtles, gave the turtles the name, Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, and Michelangelo. And then we also see what's in the present, back in the present, we also see what's going on with Raph. Raph is all alone, he's lost, he's on the street, and then we see that he sees a young kid, a boy, a teenage boy, getting beaten by his father, and immediately Raphael is like, no, I cannot let this happen, and he storms the place, and yeah, it's like, hey, wanna take on someone on for your own size? And yeah, that's where the very first issue ends.
Yeah, that was a lot to digest, and it goes right into the next one here. But dude, what were your opening thoughts on this story before you do issues 2, 3, and 4? I'm a fan of Hob. I thought it was pretty cool. I like to see how there's an origin story, but the action starts right off the bat, similar to the other comics we've covered, where turtles are being shot, or there's an action scene where they're fighting the purple dragons. The turtles always love pulling the reader in right away with a battle. So are you a fan of Hob in this series?
Oh, Old Hob is an original character for IDW Comics, and he's one of my favorites. He's still, to this day, I think he's so interesting because he's got there's so much behind him. It's not just, when we first meet him, he's like this street punk guy with his gang, trying to beat up the turtles and trying to fight Splinter, but then we find out why he is this way, and he changes very much over the course of the series. He is a villain, he becomes an ally, he becomes an anti-hero, just don't want to spoil too much, but he goes through so much, he does some really horrible things, but behind all this, he's not just the usual bad guy. It's like, I want to conquer the world. No, he's got a reason for everything he does, and he's so interesting. He's very much, if Splinter is the Professor X, then Old Hob is the Magneto. Because they both want to protect their family, but they do it in so different ways, and that makes Old Hob for me such an interesting character. And yeah, so Old Hob's still one of my favorite new editions of this comic.
And how do you like, before you get into the next one real quick, how do you like the artwork behind the turtles here? It's a lot different.
Oh yeah, the artwork changes over the course of the series because the first 12 issues are done by Dan Duncan, and I think it's really cool. He's got a really cool, interesting art style. And later on, we got other characters, other artists, and some of the best, in my opinion. And I cannot wait to talk about them. And yeah, there's not, as I said, the art changes, it gets different, but I would say that not one of them I have seen so far is like, this is bad, this does not look good at all. Everyone got his own style, but it's all very good, it's very cool, and the IDW really got some great men and women behind the TMNT comic book.
Yep, I like Casey's look. I like April's look. I like the turtles. I think they're the perfect height, too. They're not too big. They're not too gargantuan. They're not too fat and bulky. And I really enjoy the artwork, especially when I'm playing that little Munchkin game we have here. So feel free to break down who is your daddy and what does he do for the next one.
The guy that Rev starts to beat, starts to fight him, is a guy named Arnold, and he's the father of Casey. So here we have the first meeting between Raphael and Casey, and Rev beats Casey's dad with no problemo. And once again, we get a flashback to 15 months ago when April, still working at StockGen, gets attacked by ninjas. They appear in the facility and they attack April. She, by the way, gets warned by the little rat, the unmutated Splinter, because he pulls the fire alarm, the trigger for the fire alarm, and that pretty much saves her life. So these mysterious ninjas, they take the little turtles, they take some green chemicals, little red Splinter attacks these ninjas, and they drop the turtles and the green slime into an alley, and this street cat then also gets into this green slime, and it drags one turtle away in its mouth. Back to the present day, we see still like everyone is looking, like the turtles, they're looking for Raph. They've been looking for him for a long time. They cannot find him. He got lost. And on the last page, we see Casey and Raph, they bond like, hey, you saved me. We're cool now. And Casey puts on his classic mask and he's like, hey, want to go out on the street for some action? And that's Casey and Raph classic here.
I enjoy the backstory because Casey's more, I want to say he's more 2012-ish here. And I just mean that Casey Jones, he was more of a chill guy. Nothing really got him. He wasn't really hot-headed so far in this early stages. And you'll find out why he takes some of this abuse. He gets that from someone in the family. So feel free to break in the next one now, brother.
Okay, TMNT number 3. Raph and Casey do what they do best. They beat up some punks. Back to the past, we see how Splinter attacks this cat who tried to drag one of the turtles away and bites out an eye of the cat. Like, ooh, that's really brutal. And then we see how the turtles and Splinter get mutated through this ooze, and they land in the sewers. And back to the present. At the end of the issue, we see that Raph and Casey, they run into Old Hob, who is the cat mutant. He means like, oh, I found the lost turtle, and he's ready for some action.
Yeah, that's pretty much that one. And so the question is, I thought it was an error, but it is not. Because remember, we were always used to for 15 years. Instead, it's 15 months, right?
Yeah, okay. That's the weird part. That's when I first read this issue, it was like, wait a minute, the turtles were mutated 15 months ago. So how can they know martial arts? How can they be so good at this? Like in 15 months, you don't get that good. So, but there's a mystery behind it that we will talk about later.
Very nice. You see, again, it's one thing leads to another, and that's why I really feel that the 2003 Turtles cartoon really helped set the tone for everything Turtles after that in regards to getting good stories and good just, oh my God, what's going to happen next? But feel free to take on the next issue where we're not going Captain America here, but they're trying to get Super Soldier Mutagen.
Yeah, issue number 4. Once again, we go back 15 months. We get this flashback, and we see how Baxter finds the mutated Old Hob. And Old Hob is really pissed at Splinter because, like, he took out his eye. So he wants to go after Splinter. They start like, we have a common goal because he wants to find the Turtles. He wants to get back Splinter for his mutation experiments. So they start to work together. In the present time, Casey and Rev, they fight Old Hob and gang, and then finally, after all this time, the other turtles find Rev, find them, and join the fight. There's a big fight. In the end, Old Hob runs away, he escapes, but Raphael is finally reunited with his family, and that's pretty much the end of the very first arc of this, the first story arc of this comic book.
Very well done, good pace. We haven't heard the S word yet, but we know it's coming somewhere. So don't worry about it, folks. You're like, wait a minute, they've been talking for a while, and there's no Shredder yet. He'll be coming, trust me. And don't worry, we'll start being in living color soon. But first, we have like a little itty bitty issue and a lot to learn.
Yeah, that was a short story that came out that was printed in the 30th anniversary special that that IDW did. So this is like just a little short story where the Turtles, now reunited, they finally train together, but Rev cannot really keep up with the others yet because he's been out on the street, and he gets angry, storms out, then he hangs out with Casey again, and they talk about family, and Casey is like, yeah, hey dude, you've got a family who's been doing everything to find you. They wanted to save you. And what do I have? I only have a father who drinks, who beats me, so you should really be happy for what you got. And Rev realizes that his family is good, and he heads home and is like, okay, I calm down, classic Rev, I calm down, I'm back again. Let's start over again with the training. And yeah, just a little nice story, but a nice little Raphael spotlight. I always like these little short stories that get into the characters a little bit more. So yeah, that was really nice.
Yeah, I love the artwork too, where it's like he's with his bros. It's that part where it says, when my brothers found me and I learned who I really am, it was the best day of my life. You just can feel the emotion on that page. It's almost like a golden aura. Leonardo's actually hugging him. Usually we're always used to see them going at each other. I'm guessing that's Mikey high-fiving him on that scene, and Donnie's also there too, like, hey, welcome here, because again, Donatello was also saying before that too, like, come on, Leonardo. And I really enjoyed Donatello, and we'll hear more about him as we break these down. He's not one that just, there's so many people now in the world, they just go, yeah, okay, it's on the internet, it's real, I saw that, it's real. Donnie, even he'll question Leo, like, wait a second, like, are we really, does this guy even exist? He questioned even Raphael's existence in these, so, and you'll hear more of those questions later, but for now, it's time for the Turtles to go from seeing all red with Chevelle to getting to in living color here in issue 5.
Yeah. This issue starts off with Splinter, who's out in the city looking for supplies. And while he does that, he remembers a story from feudal Japan, where a man named Hamato Yoshi was a ninja of the Foot Clan, and a man named Orokusaki was the leader. And Yoshi thought that Saki was leading the Foot Clan down an evil path, and he's like, I don't want to be part of this, and he leaves the clan. And for this, his wife Tang Shen gets killed. Yoshi escapes with his 4 sons, but years later, Saki found them and killed them all. But Hamato Yoshi, with his last words, said, I don't know how, I don't know when, but I will find a way to come back, and then I will confront you again, Saki. And then he gets killed. And then, years later, they are reborn. The Turtles and Splinter are the reincarnated lives, the reincarnated persons of Hamato Yoshi and his 4 sons. And yeah, and this is like, what, now it makes sense. Like, okay, so they already trained for years, but in a past life. So that's why they know martial arts and stuff, like mind blown. And yeah, in the end, Splinter comes back home, and he gives the Turtles some presents, like there are 4 different colors because these are their favorite colors. Finally, he gives them because at the beginning they were all wearing red because they were still searching for Raphael, and Raphael's favorite color is red. So to always remember him, they all wore red, but now that they're finally together again, they can all be individuals. They can all have their own colors, and now they all have their classic colors, red, blue, orange, and purple. So now we got the backstory.
And like you said, it's like you like the Raphael spots. So we're going to go right back into Raphael, and we're going to get some more familiar characters, as well as a new one that comes into play, and really well-written little micro-series here with Raphael coming up.
Yes, just like it was with the Mirage comics, Raphael gets his first micro-series. And in the story, we see Raphael and Casey once again hanging out together in the streets. And then they run into 2 goons who are chasing a mutant Arctic fox, whose name is Alopex. And Raphael's like, whoa, another mutant, whoa, that's crazy. And she's like, I've been hunted all my life. And Raphael's like, hey, maybe we can help you. And he wants to take her to the lair. But then while he's going there, he realizes like, okay, wait, maybe there's something weird about her. And yes, it turns out to be a trap that she is working together with the bad guys, and they fight. And so but in the end, Alopex escapes, and she goes back to this hideout where the bad guys are hanging out. So, like, as I said, 2 human bad guys who look very familiar, and these guys, they say, like, we want to be mutants too, that would be the coolest. And but one mysterious ninja tells them they have to wait until the master orders otherwise. And that's the end of the Raphael micro-series.
How cool is it seeing the possible Bebop with the purple mohawk, and just, I know you are the same way with me growing up with the old cartoon. We all loved Rocksteady with that helmet and the headgear, and we don't know yet, but it looks like that's Rocksteady with the headgear. How cool, how excited were you for just, the details on that?
Oh, I'm always a sucker for Easter eggs and callbacks like this. And when I first saw these guys, I'm like, hey, I know who they are modeled after. And with the IDW comics, you never know. It's like, okay, is this just an Easter egg? It's like they just throw us a bone for the old fans, or will they be important later on? You never know. It can take some time, but hey, maybe we'll see these guys again. But I was really happy to see them again. It was, classic Turtles. I'm always there for it.
Oh yeah, and we got our buddy, I say it all the time, we're very picky with our Mikey, but he's good here, and he even mentions animatronics. So again, just little cool Easter eggs like this coming in these micro-series here. Yeah,
the Michelangelo micro-series. In this issue, it's New Year's Eve, and Mikey, Mikey, he always wants to go out, he wants to hang out with people, he wants to be normal, so he goes to a costume party at the museum, but there he runs into some thieves who think that he is their masked team member, but Mikey, he just plays along with them with stealing a diamond, but then he takes the diamond from them and beats up the bad guys. And it turns out that one of them is actually an undercover cop named Kara. And they're like, okay, hey, I'm not really a bad guy. Here's the diamond. And I'm out of here. So he gives the diamond to her and does the classic ninja vanish. And a very cool, very enjoyable little Mikey story where he really shows off what he can do when he has to. And very enjoyable.
So real quick, we'll take a quick little step back. Just I wanted to ask your thoughts on this because there's another Turtles generation. It does something similar in regards to the naming of the Turtles, and that's the Megan Fox and the Michael Bay Turtles. So do you think that Michael Bay movie was going more for the IDW comics to try and get his movies going?
some things like April naming the turtles is something that I think they took from the comics. That took some inspiration there. It just seems too familiar, too similar to be a coincidence. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean this comics came out 2011. The first Michael Bay produced movie was 2014. So it works that way. So I think they took some inspiration from the comics.
Yeah, that's what I felt too. Not the bulletproof, but that part for sure. Oh man, coming up next, we're back on track here. Real quick too, before you break down this next issue, Christian, now they have it in these books that we're going by in order. Was this how the comics were released as well? Was issue 5 and then Raphael, or did it, like how did they, you understand what I'm saying, like with the release dates of like the Raphael? Mm. Yeah.
Most of the time, but not always.
Oh, okay.
Some stories. I mean, here, I'm just checking out my notes. Here it works out.
Nice.
But sometimes they have a story that gets released like some months later, but it takes place earlier. It's but in these books they really put them into chronological order so that the stories really make sense, but they were not always released like this. One of these is that I remember is when there was a TMNT annual that comes later. I'm not going to spoil it, sure. But there is an annual later on where Renette is introduced. Nice. But then there was a miniseries, Turtles in Time, but this miniseries came out earlier than the annual. So the Turtles already knew Renette, and because for some production problems, they could not release the annual on time, so they had to switch it around. But in these books, they put them in the right order again, so everything is fine again. But it does not always work out that way, but most of the time it does.
That's good to know. And unlike our Archie series, there was nothing banned and nothing that so far has not had to been, put back on the bookshelf, so to speak. So we're able to actually read and appreciate and enjoy this entire series. But coming up next, we've got our buddy Baxter back, and we're going to see some new friends of his coming to life.
Yeah, TMNT number 6. Here, the story starts off with the Turtles, and they see some mysterious ninjas that Splinter talks about that they could be like the fruit from way back in feudal Japan that he remembers. And as you said, Donatello is like, how should this work? He's very, he's the scientist guy. Is like, how could these things like reincarnations to stuff like this? I'm not sure about this, but these ninjas, these foot ninjas, they have a fight with some other mysterious ninjas, some Savate ninjas who are French. And the Turtles run into them, and when one of them dies, he tells the Turtles as they run to him, like, there's a war coming. Like, ooh, mysterious. Meanwhile, Casey and April, they meet each other because Casey needs some tutoring to get better grades, and April is the smart one, and April was asking for some self-defense lessons that Casey can give her. So that's where they meet up. And Baxter, meanwhile, has some talk with Old Hob because he could not deliver the Turtles. So Baxter gives Old Hob a new army, a new tool to work with, and this turns out to be a Mouser army to hunt down the Turtles. So we get the Mousers in this.
Oof. And then coming up next, we've got a micro series where I'll just clue you guys in with a screen name of Dues_Machines_84. That's all you need to know about the next issue coming up. I love these Easter eggs.
That's the Donatello micro series. Yeah, absolutely. Here, the story starts with Donatello getting an invite from an online friend who, by the way, have you seen this, has the handle Prof. J. Barry. Like Professor Jordan Barry.
Another good one.
I love this. he gets an invite to a science fair, and he checks this out. It's like, oh, this is totally his style. And there he meets another scientist called Harold Lilja, and who turns out to be like Donatello's online nemesis. But the man behind the science fair is, of course, none other than Baxter Stockman, to find some scientists to help him with his, problems like the turtles. And Donatello runs into this, and Baxter finds him, and Donatello gets hunted. But in the end, Donatello and Harold, they have to work together, and they are able to escape in the end. So that's pretty much the end of the Donatello micro-series. And once again, like, this character, Harold, could have been like a one-off character, and we could have never seen him again, but they just wait and we will see. Maybe he will play a bigger role later on. But that's the Donatello micro-series.
It's almost like they test the waters. Well, we're going to dip our foot in the water real quick and see how the fans react, see what the forums say, see if the feedback's positive, if it flows, and we can always go back to them. So it's been a very good foreshadowing of where these characters go. Coming up next, though, it feels like we might be able to do a little back-to-backer right here with these next two, because we've got some big battles coming. And real quick, I will want to say, if Old Hob was in the OG cartoon or any cartoon, he's giving me that cool kind of way he has dialogue. Jim Cummings would be a great voice for him, just like how he voiced Leatherhead, because Hob's kind of cool, man. He doesn't really talk too intelligent, doesn't talk too street. He can do a little of both, and he's just got that swag about him. So I think Jim Cummings would be an amazing voice actor if Hob ever goes to Cartoon World for us.
I'm still waiting for a real Old Hob in any animated version or anything. I mean, we got Old Hob practically, but it was not Old Hob, and whatever. So this issue number 7, it starts with the mysterious General Krang on the mysterious planet Neutrino, where he wages a war. So, there's some sci-fi in there. But Krang then comes to New York to visit Baxter, because he still was not able to deliver the Mutation, that he promised for his army. And he has some stone warriors with him, and he's very unhappy with Baxter. Meanwhile, Mousers attack the Turtles' lair, and the Mousers, they are controlled by none other than Old Hob, so it goes really crazy there, and which brings us straight into issue number 8, if that's okay with you.
Yep.
And the Turtles, big fight with the Mousers, and during all this craziness, Old Hob is able to kidnap Splinter. Meanwhile, Casey realizes that April knew the Turtles before the mutations, because they talk about this is a guy, Splinter, and so Splinter, heard that name before. The Turtles are then able to defeat all the Mousers, but Splinter is gone, and Casey and April arrive, and the Turtles are like, hey, Turtles, hey, there's someone you know, and April sees the Turtles, and classic April, she faints, and this is where issue number 8 then ends.
Oh, yeah. So we get to catch our breath just for a brief moment, but this is just giving me, again, this is happening in other comics. It happened in the 2003 series. I love a good Leonardo versus the World Gauntlet, don't you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's this Leonardo micro series that's coming up. This is really good. I love the art in this, and it's like one big action scene, because Leonardo, he is out there. The Turtles is split up to look for Splinter, and but at this construction site, he gets attacked by foot soldiers. Big fight, big action scene, and Laird is fighting through this army of foot ninjas, and he's really doing well, but one of these ninjas, who has a scar over his eye, defeats Leonardo, and then he throws him into a dumpster with the words, "I am unimpressed." And yeah, but Leonardo goes back to the Turtles there and is like, okay, there's something going out there and we still have to find Splinter. And yeah, that's the Leonardo micro series. One big, crazy action scene.
Jeez, you gotta be honest with me here, because me and you are diehard Turtle fans. Do you your first reaction reading that unimpressed and seeing that battle, did you think that was going to be somebody that shows up again? I did.
Oh yeah, okay. I had my thoughts like, okay, yeah, there could be something more behind this. Yeah.
Yeah, I was the same. It's like, okay, somebody wouldn't just take out Leonardo and walk away. So we'll figure that out soon. But we got a couple more that are going to be very intense and fast-paced here with our next few issues coming up with a little bit more focus on Splinter.
Yeah, issue number 9. He Turtles and April at the lair. April is now fine. She's okay. I realize, like, okay, you are the Turtles. You got mutated. Cool. And the Turtles, but then realize that Dexter must be behind the Mousers, and so they think like, okay, Splinter must be at StockChen. So the Turtles, with the help of April and Casey, they infiltrate StockChen. And there's one giant Mouser in there that they also have to fight. And when they get to where Splinter was imprisoned, Splinter's already taken. There were some other ninjas who took Splinter. And on the last page, we see that Splinter is captured by the Foot Clan, and he stands in front of the Shredder.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, turn the page, I gotta read more. That's the beauty of covering these while they're all out, because we can get right into the next one.
All right, TMNT number 10. Yeah, so Splinter is there with the Foot Clan, Shredder is there, the big leader, and Karai and Alopex are also there. And they tell Splinter that, hey, we know that you're a great fighter and so on and so forth. Hey, you can join us or be defeated. So to like prove that he is good enough, he has to fight to the death, and Splinter fights all these foot ninjas. Once again, big action scene, crazy, and Splinter is like, it's just so good. Meanwhile, the Turtles, thanks to April's help, they go to the second time around shop to get some rest and to get ready to search for Splinter the next day.
It's very intense. And the other cool thing I will point out too is it's nice to see some OG artwork. Well, not OG, but just the OG Kevin Eastman involved in this story very, very deeply. You'll see some shredders, and they really resemble the old 84 look, just almost like when you get a new upgrade for your car, right? It's kind of like that. Is that the way you see Shredder too? Like the OG, but just a little bit touch-up?
Yeah, it's like a modernized version of the classic comic Shredder. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's the way I view it as well. And now I believe we're going to be headed into a quick little Splinter backstory. Like, do we have time for a flashback, Christian, just like how Raphael would say in the original cartoon?
Oh yeah, we always have time for a flashback. So yeah, this brings us to the Splinter micro series, because IDW not only the Turtles get some micro series, but other characters as well, as does Splinter. While still fighting foot ninjas, Splinter remembers his past when he was still Hamato Yoshi, and he was a very angry young man, very much like Raphael back then, and he got into a lot of fights. But when he then met Tang Shen, he fell in love and he calmed down. And there's like the story where Yoshi and Saki, who are at this time, they were still both members of the Foot Clan, and they have an assignment to assassinate a lord named Lord Archie. And during this assignment, Yoshi almost gets killed, and he is able to get back to Tang Shen. Is like, oh, Tang Shen, just to see your face one more time. But Tang Shen's like, no, I will not allow you to die, because she is pregnant with his child, and like, okay, you have to be a father. And so we see that later they have 4 sons, and well, the rest is history. So a little bit more backstory for Splinter in this issue.
Oof, and then we're going to give Christian this little sip of water here because we've got a couple more coming up, and I'll just do a little wording of issue 11 coming up here because Splinter is a very good narrator here if you guys do get these comics in your own possession. I have faced a multitude of enemies this night. Some have been new, referring to Karai, others ancient. And take it away, my dude, at issue 11 and possibly 12 with the big battle coming up here.
Yeah, righty. Yeah, this is like Splinter defeats the Foot Ninjas, then he has to fight Alopex next. Meanwhile, the Turtles, they run into some thugs who turn out to be purple dragons at the second time around shop, and their leader, Angel. Once again, callback to characters that we already know from other universes, but IDW puts them into a new version, and this is just what I love so much. And Angel is an old friend of Casey, and it turns out that she knows about the Foot Clan and where their hideout is and where Splinter could be. And yeah, meanwhile, at Shredder's headquarters, Shredder realizes who Splinter really is because he didn't know about this. He's like, oh my god, this is Hamato Yoshi, how can this be? And the same thing is like Oroku Saki, how can he be alive all these years later? So yeah, Shredder gets ready to fight Splinter himself, which brings us straight into TMNT number 12, which is the final issue of the first collection. Splinter, Shredder, big fight. But then Turtles and Casey, they come in, they infiltrate the headquarters, they have a big attack, and once again, big fight. Even Angel joins the fight. And yeah, Turtles fight Shredder, fight the Foot Ninjas, Karai's in their Alopexes, and it's really one big brawl. And yeah, but the Turtles, they are able to escape with Splinter in the end. And yeah, meanwhile, as Krang, who had this meeting with Baxter Stockman in New York, is leaving. Baxter says goodbye to Krang. Then he's like, okay, I have to take care of business, and he shoots Old Hob in the chest, and yeah, that's apparently the end of Old Hob. But Krang's like, okay, but Baxter, I'm gonna need you, and he drugs Baxter Stockman and takes him with him. Meanwhile, Turtles and company, they go back to second time around shop, and there April is finally able to thank Splinter for saving her life way back when he was still a rat and she got attacked by his ninjas. And with this nice moment, issue number 12 and the first volume collection ends.
So let's take a little deep breath before we get into book 2. My thoughts for this first book as a whole. Number 1, if there's a way this could be an animated movie someday, I would be there for it. I would love to see the Splinter and Shredder battles. Those are very intense, dramatic battles. I enjoy seeing Raphael not go rogue. He usually it's him, I'll go do it. He wants to stay with his brothers for the most part because he doesn't really know them. He hasn't seen them in forever. So I like that aspect. We talked earlier about Donatello questioning a lot more things. Mikey's easygoing and chill as ever. Leonardo, he's so much more emotional. You can see on those pages, Donnie, just yelling and just with so much emotion and care for his brothers. You see a little bit of different Splinter too, because as we'll learn later, Splinter was always not Mr. Nonchalant as calm and chill as he is here. You'll learn that later. So the reincarnation, I could live without that. That's just not my cup of tea for this turtle spot. It gets a little weird, but it does need to be here to make sense. So it's not a knock on a series. That's just like saying I prefer pepperoni over sausage on my pizza. That's all. So still love this series comic as a whole, and these books are just great. I could definitely read this book over and over and over again, and I would be satisfied. But as turtle fans, we always want more. So, Christian, what are your final takeaways from book 1? Are you a fan of the reincarnation bit? Do you like seeing Raphael where they had to search for him first? Are you digging the chemistry between April and Casey where it was a tutor?
Yeah, the first book is really, it feels like the first big story arc. It feels like a complete story, more or less. We know what's going on, but it feels like, okay, it ends with the first big fight with the Shredder. And it's really just just a great start. It's like the first movie in a big storyline or in a big movie series. And yeah, I'm still, to this day, I'm still holding my breath if someone would like animate some stories from the IDW series, or just like do something more. I mean, I'm really happy with the comics, but like adapt them in some other media, as you said, like in an animated form, like DC does with the straight to DVD movies or anything like this. Give me something like this, and I would be very happy. So maybe one day. But yeah, overall, the reincarnation angle, it's different. At first, I wasn't sure what I should think about it. I mean, it makes sense in the story, but it's just so different from what we know. That the turtles, they were always like little baby turtles, and they got mutated. Here, they were also little baby turtles, but they were also human, so they were both. So yeah, it's very different, but yeah, nowadays I say I'm fine with it because it works in the story. It makes sense. It like they're in a way now they are really Splinter's sons, not only his adopted sons, but also really in spirit they are really his sons, and it's very interesting new take on this thing. And yeah, where they also over the course of the series they come back to it, they put some more information behind all this, why this happened, and so on and so forth. So yeah, at first I wasn't sure about it, but now I'm really fine with it, and I think it's just something new, as you said. Like sometimes you gotta try a new flavor of pizza.
Yeah, absolutely, my friend. We already talked about we both are fans of Hob. We both like Casey Jones. I like April's look, and give me more Angel. I'm crushed on Angel, man. I'm not usually a fan of girls with different hair colors, but the purple works. It works for her, man. She's a cutie pie. I like Angel in this, so she's my ooh la la gal pal in here. But anyways, let's start. Oh, actually, no, one more quick question. What are your thoughts here on Krang? Because again, this is like we're calling it Turtle All-Stars. There's the word Utram is mentioned. There's also the planet with the neutrinos being mentioned, which I thought was awesome. So the Krang, I mean, what else are you going to do with, right? You can't really have the body that he had from the old cartoon. I think they could have done a little bit better with Krang, but I'm happy he's here, and I like how he's doing his own thing, and Baxter actually works for him. So what are your thoughts on Krang so far?
This Krang is definitely not 87 Krang. He's really he's like really this military general. He's ruthless. He does what he needs to do and kills who comes in his way. And yeah, so you gotta take him serious. He's no joke, and for this I'm like I really like this version of Krang. Yeah, kind of like the Archie Krang, because he was also like, okay, gotta destroy a planet, and I'm gonna do it. So yeah, he's pretty much the same here. He does what he needs to do, and he's got his reasons. Even he has his reasons for doing what he does. It's not only like, I want to conquer the world. No, he also has his reasons that we're gonna find out. So yeah, it's a very interesting character. Once again, IDW really does not only do these black and white characters. Like, okay, yeah, Krang is evil, but in his world, in what he thinks he's doing the right thing because he has to do it, because someone has to do it. So yeah, it's gotta say, this Krang is very interesting, and he also gets even more interesting later on.
Oh yeah, exactly. And our good buddy General Trag has been demoted to captain because Krang's the general now. So sorry, Trag, it's just the way it is, buddy. You can't. Krang's not a lord in this yet. Maybe he will be later, but for now, you got to stay captain. And it's pretty cool they had Trag and Grant, right? I enjoy these Trag and Grandors better than the ones from the Nick show. It just feels better to see these Stonewares and not be. what they were in the 2014, 2012 show. Check that, the older cartoon show. But without further ado, it's time to pop into book number 2, where we get Casey Jones's backstory to find out why he is easygoing and why he does not stand up to his dad and push back.
Yes, Casey Jones micro series. The story starts with Casey and Rev once again beating up some gangsters. But as he gets home, Casey finds out that his father gets into trouble with some gangsters who want money from him, and he gives them a necklace that belonged to Casey's mother, and Casey wants to have it back. Casey beats up the bad guys and is able to get the necklace back. And as pretty much as thanks, as Casey comes back, then his father beats him up again. But during all this, we get flashbacks, because Casey remembers the time when his mother, who was very ill, before she died, she told Casey that he is strong. Casey is a strong one, and his father, Arnold, is not. He will break, and Casey has to watch out for him. He has to take care of him, and she asks of Casey that they should not fight. And Casey promises her that he will take care of his father, and he will not fight. And that's to this day. Casey's father, he beats Casey, and Casey does not fight back. So to cherish the promise that he gave to his mother before she died. So once again, Arnold beats Casey, and Casey then stumbles back to the second time around shop where the turtles are still hanging out, and they find him pretty bruised, but he's like, hey, don't worry, I know I'm the strong one. And with this the issue ends, and it's like, whoa. Casey, tough kid, but he's got it rough, and his father is so say it nice, not a cool dude.
Yeah, he's not the nicest man out there, and thankfully I've never had to deal with abuse, so I really can't speak on how that works for other people that have had that, and it's very unfortunate that does exist. But anyways, coming up next on this issues 13 and 14, Raphael's going to try and save the day, but there's a really good lesson learned here with Splinter trying to show Raph, if that's what you want, let's get it on and find out why.
Yes. With issue 13 starts where, pretty much the Casey Jones issue ended. Raph gets really angry. His friend once again got beaten, so he wants to beat up Casey's dad. Meanwhile, at Burno Island, which is the island where Krang has his headquarters, Baxter got taken there, and he sees Krang finally in his real form as an Utrom. Meanwhile, Shredder tells Karai, who is Karai is Shredder's Orokusaki's great granddaughter, and she's she is not ready to be his Chunin. So, but this is pretty much what Karai always worked towards. So, back to Raph. Raph storms Casey's home, but Splinter followed him, and he stops Raphael before he does something stupid, and grabs Raphael's eye and puts the eye to Arnold's throat. It's like, okay, we can do this. Which brings us straight into issue number 14, where Splinter is like, hey, this is what we want to do. We want to kill this man. It will stop Casey's suffering, but at what price? And this is the moment when Raph realizes, okay, I was angry, I was crazy, but this is not what I want. So they don't kill Casey's dad. But Splinter says okay, but from now on, we will take care of Casey. There's another way, and we will take care of Casey. We are his family now, and so they take him in. Krang, meanwhile, tells Baxter about Utrominon, which was the home planet of the Utroms and its destruction, and that the surviving Utroms are here on Burno Island, and he has to take care of them. Then suddenly, through a portal, some neutrino rebels come in, attack Krang, but pretty much they are killed. And Krang then says Baxter that he brought him to Burno Island to complete his final step in saving his kind, which is the building of the Technodrome. And in the end, we see that Shredder is thinking about taking Leonardo as his student because he sees so much potential in him. Like, ooh, very interesting. And this is where issue number 14 ends.
Oh, we've seen a resemblance of that in the 2003 show. What will Leonardo do when push comes to shove in that? But for now, I really do enjoy these little either flashbacks or just get to know somebody. I like these little breaks in their long story here because now we're going to go into April, and I got two words for you: palm tree. And most fans of the old cartoon know what that means.
Yeah. This is the April microseries where April is still working at StockGen, and she finds out about this turtle tracker that Baxter used way back in the Donatello microseries, and she wants to get her hands on that so that, well, Baxter cannot track the turtles anymore. And yeah, she's on her own. She does like her own little ninja story there, where there's some chaos at StockGen and there's a power surge, which frees a mysterious experiment at StockGen. And when she returns later to get the machine, to get the turtle tracker, she is spotted by a stone warrior who is like guarding there. But the stone warrior runs after her. But April is able to escape, and the stone warrior runs into the creature that escaped, like this mysterious experiment. And April escapes, but this mutant experiment grabs like this little plastic palm tree from a terrarium. And then it walks out of StockGen and is also free, and we see it for the first time. It is a giant, spiky mutant turtle that looks very familiar.
He sure as heck does. And then what IDW likes to do, I've noticed, which is, again, why I enjoy waiting. At least I try to wait until the series is complete, or at least a book, because we've got another back-to-back that Christian covered, because it's almost like on the next time, on Dragon Ball Z, they're already getting into the battle, but they stopped it, and then you have to get to the next issue right away.
Yeah. Issue number 15 and 16. Because issue 15, it starts with a flashback how StockGen experimented on an aggressive snapping turtle who was mutated to hunt down the turtles. But, well, it's pretty unstable. So in the present time, there are reports of a certain creature attacking people in the streets, and the media calls it Slash. So the turtles, meanwhile, they check out an abandoned church, which could work as a new lair, because the old lair, when Old Hob and the Mouses attacked it, it got destroyed pretty much. But what they don't know is that they are followed by Slash, who then attacks them at, well, this new place. And yeah, there's a big fight. The turtles fight with Slash, and as I said, Slash is very aggressive, it's very unstable. And during this big fight, this pretty spooky, very, very horror-like fight, Leonardo accidentally stabs Slash with his katana into his shoulder, and he falls over and bleeds and falls into the sewer and disappears. So the turtles think like, oh my god, we killed him, especially Leonardo is taking it hard. But at the end, we find out that Slash is still alive and found by Old Hob, who is also still alive and was not killed when he got shot by Baxter Stockman. Like, hey, big guy, we got some big plans, so come on. Like, ooh. Yeah. That's where it ends.
The good old places to go, people to kill. So, I wanted your thoughts, too, in regards to the Raphael and Splinter duo here, because Splinter is almost like Raphael, because they show Splinter was a ragey kind of dude. He was, again, with his, past life and stuff. So, how do you like seeing this side of Splinter that I've never seen before? I mean, Splinter gets mad in our other, generations of Turtles, but in this one, he used to get, he really had a short fuse.
Yeah, it's like also very interesting take on Splinter, because as you said, Splinter was always the calm one, but also Splinter was also young some time ago, so that he had to learn to be calm, to not get angry over everything, and so this is really interesting, because usually it's always like Splinter and Leonardo, they have the biggest connection, but here it's like a little bit like Splinter sees a little bit of himself in Raphael when he gets angry, when he gets mad. So it's a really interesting dynamic, and yeah, once again, a new interesting take that they brought in there, which, in my opinion, really is really interesting. And yeah, it once again, it works. It just works.
I think it actually brings more of we can relate to Splinter, like how Stan Lee always tried to do with his writing for Marvel characters, right? With Peter Parker, he's a superhero, but he has teenage problems, he has girl problems, he has money problems. If you're able to relate to the characters you're reading about, you care more about them. So I actually really do enjoy this little twist with Splinter. Plus, he's the one doing most of the fighting so far. He's pretty much our narrator and our top fighter. He was the one duking it out with Shredder, so I'm sure we'll have more battles with him. But first, we gotta go find out who our buddy Chet was. As you guys know, in our previous episodes here on YouTube and Spotify for Shellonomics, Christian helped us break down the older comics, and I always asked him, what is with this Chet guy all the time? Well, he's actually got some importance here. Back in the day, they were kind of just throwing that name around like Average Joe, but here, Chet's got some main importance in our next micro series.
Yeah, the next micro series is about the Fugitoid. And yeah, I remember then when this issue was announced, I was like, wait, why do we get a Fugitoid issue? Because we have not met the Fugitoid before. But here we get his story, which will connect to everything later. That years ago, there was a Professor Honeycutt, a neutrino scientist who was working for Krang. And he feared that Krang, and he was afraid of Krang because he knew how ruthless he can be, and so he and his family, like Professor Honeycutt's family, became members of the neutrino resistance. But later, Krang's army attacked the resistance, and to save his family from the fire that got started, Honeycutt transferred his mind into a cell robot. Yeah, classic story. So he is able to walk through the fire to free his family. But as he freed them, his family ran out into the open, and there was an airstrike by Krang's soldiers, and his family got killed, and he's stuck in his robot body. So it's like, wow, from one bad thing to another. But he was able to escape through a portal to Earth, and because in his robotic body he could change his outer appearance, he turned himself into a human called Chet. And he started working for Baxter, and Chet was a character that we know from the very first issue. And now in this issue we find out that he's actually Professor Honeycutt, aka the Fugitoid. And yeah, so he was still there, and he's still on Earth, and he was trying to stop Krang. And to do this, he even became a spy for Shredder. So yeah, this the little twist at the end, that who is working with in the background with Shredder to stop the bigger evil, to stop Krang. So yeah, now we know who Chet is, who Honeycutt is, who the Fugitoid is. And yeah, that will work into the next storyline.
Yeah, what I want everybody to do, if you guys do get these books, I just want you to just stop and stare at issue 17, the cover art. Dude, did you ever think Leonardo was going to get taken down by a neutrino? I mean...
This is the same thing here, as I said, we're going to meet some very familiar neutrinos in these next issues. And I know we know the neutrinos from the classic cartoon, but they were goofy, hanging out, chilly dudes. But here, completely different. And yeah, as I said, okay, these are not the neutrinos from my childhood. These are the badass version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is good. I'm very excited. Feel free to break this down as long or as short you need. I like how you called it on the side, like the Krang War. And there's a lot more of this, to be continued on Dragon Ball Z. There's some stare downs, some good stuff. And Mikey doesn't crush on Kelly. He's crushing on somebody else in this one too.
Yes. So, jump into issue number 17, where we see that in Dimension X, the neutrinos are at war with Krang's army. And meanwhile, April is meeting with Chet to get some information about Baxter. But suddenly, the neutrinos, namely Jack, Dusk, and Kala, come in. They're like neutrinos commanders to take Chet with them, because they know who Chet is actually, that he is the Fugitoid. And so there's a big fight. The Turtles and Casey fight the neutrinos, but then all of them get beamed to Zmada City. This is like the capital of neutrinos, in the middle of the war. And this is where the issue ends. Which, I'm just gonna keep going with issue number 18, because this is like this big storyline here. The Turtles fight alongside the neutrinos against Rock Soldiers and Krang's army, and the royal neutrino family gets kidnapped, but Michelangelo is able to save Princess Trip. And then Chet reveals to the Turtles that he is actually the Fugitoid. And we've also find out that Krang wants to use the Technodrome to terraform Earth so that the Utroms can live on Earth, because they have a different atmosphere, but that would kill humanity. So Krang, to get to the Fugitoid, Krang has the king and the queen at his mercy, and so bring him the Fugitoid or they will die. Straight into issue number 19. We see that Cry on Earth sneaks into Turtle Island to steal some ooze to use for their own reasons. The neutrinos have a missile that will disable all of Krang's weaponry and end the war. So they have a plan there. But to do this, they have to save the royal family first. So the Turtles and the neutrinos start a two-way attack. Leo, Mikey, and the neutrinos sneak in to confront Krang, while Raph and Zack start a frontal attack. And then in issue number 20, we have the big fight with Krang. Raph and Zack fight Krang soldiers and a giant Krang robot. It's really wild there. But then the Ant missile, as it is called, is started, and Krang's army is helpless because their weapons are not working anymore and they give up. But Krang's weapons that he has in his body are still working, because they're working on a different frequency. And but before he, during this fight, before he kills Mikey, Honeycutt surrenders himself to finally stop this war. So Krang and Honeycutt, they beam away, and the Turtles get beamed back home. And that's the end of the Krang war storyline. This is okay, now we're really in sci-fi territory, and it's wild, it's great, it's pretty cool to see the neutrinos in a completely different light than what we knew them from.
Yeah, split squares, they've come a long way from cool, Daddy-o, we are frozen. They have come a long way and have evolved in a good spot. How did you like Krang here? Because, in a lot of, I want to say he's a bad guy for sure, but just, it was interesting to see how Honeycutt surrendered and Krang left everybody alone. Usually you see in these cartoons, but I also wanted to kill all you guys too. So did you like Krang here, where it was kind of okay, these guys are screwed anyways, let's just get out of here?
Yes, I mean, Krang is really evil, and he doesn't care about other lives, but he's still somewhere he's still got a sense of honor, and just the whole thing that he feels responsible for his whole race and so on. So he does this not because he's a good guy. No, he does this because he sees okay, if I will not take the Fugitoid now with me and start killing people, the Fugitoid will not come with me. So I need him. So to make a plan, he's okay, I'm out of here now. But yeah, it's really cool. And one thing is that the Royal Neutrino family, there are Santa, Gisla, and Trip. And we know these names. I mean, back in the cartoon, in the classic cartoon, there were also Santa, Gisla, and Tribble, the little neutrino baby from the Four Turtles cartoon episode. And they brought them back in. Once again, this is childhood of this IDW.
Oh yeah, a random spot too. That's one of my favorite episodes because I doubt you get away with this nowadays in cartoons, but everybody remembers that spot with James Avery where he looks at the kid, the mother's child. My, what an ugly child! My condolences, madam. Oh God rest in peace, James Avery. We love you, brother. So, were you intrigued at all that Mikey was crushing more on the princess instead of Cal? It makes sense because Cal is more of a warrior. She doesn't really have time to be falling in love, right?
Yeah. I had the same feeling there. Like it's like immediately when he sees like Mikey is like,
yep.
There's a princess, so I can be like save the princess. It's like I'm all there for it. And like from the moment he sees us, like, oh, I like her. So it really works here.
And I also enjoy the brotherhood again. Leo fist bumps Raphael. Unity. It's like, hey, you go do your thing, I do mine. You got it, Leo. Not, I'll be fine. Like, it was just, I like to see a little bit more unity with those two. It's a nice little twist. So, coming up next, though, after that big, humongous plot, we take a little break and get another backstory. I had in my notes during those issues, Krangs, son of Quonin. Now, I was like, what in the world's a Quonin? Does that even matter? Well, apparently it does, because we're going to get more on that in the next issue here.
Yeah, this is the Krang micro-series, where we get some more of Krang's backstory. As you said, he was the son of Quonin, who was the leader of the Utroms. And yeah, Krang was this prince who did nothing all day, and Quonin did not even care about him. So Krang wanted to prove his worth, so he stowed away on a ship that was headed for a planet where an enemy of the Utroms called Traxxas was. And but they got ambushed, and all the Utroms got killed, but Krang is the only one who survived, and he then had to survive in the wilderness. He was on his own with no servants or anyone for the first time in his life. So he was able to become like this kind of warrior that he had to be, and with the help of like this giant lizard that he was able to tame, Krang attacked and killed Traxxas, took over his soldiers, and even used Traxxas' body as his own new body, which is pretty cruel. So this was the moment when Krang finally got the recognition from his father, and this is like when Krang was starting to become the Krang, the leader, the general that we know nowadays. So yeah, nice backstory to Krang here, I gotta say.
Yeah, and then we take another backstory right into Baxter Stockman, and I don't know, are you up for a game of chess with your family? I didn't know chess was going to be such a big game changer here for life lessons.
Yeah. Baxter micro-series. We see Baxter is on Burno Island, and he is working on a new project. He creates a creature called the Flyborg, which is like this fusion between a fly mutant and a cyborg. And as he tests it, the Flyborg starts attacking Baxter, and Baxter flees. He is able to hide in a control room, which, as it turns out, was Baxter's plan all along, to get into this room, to get information on the Technodrome, to find a way to stop it. And during all this, we also get some flashbacks to Baxter, who is playing chess with his father, and starting as a young boy, he always played chess with his father, and how he learned to be smarter than everyone else, to be smarter than his enemies, to always think 2 steps ahead. And yeah, so this is also what made Baxter the man that he is today. Like, okay, that was very interesting, and we gotta say, this Baxter is very interesting, very cool, very Well, yeah. He always reminded me pretty much of the 2003 Baxter, because he's also like very, very arrogant and like, hey, I'm the smartest person in the room and I know it and I'm gonna prove it. And so yeah, I just love this version of Baxter very much.
Yeah, if they throw a little fly piece in there. So that's what I was going to ask you next is, you can always pass, which backstory do you prefer? The despicable Baxter here, or do you like the one more with his mother in the 2003?
The 2003, the flashbacks with his mother,
Yeah, that one. I picked that one too, for me at least, because that was deep. Don't worry. Every time I'm not going to give you a Ninjaro Alopex. I passed on that one because we already talked about that before. But just curious on this take here, because I like them both so much. The 2003 just hits the heart, hits the feels a lot more.
Absolutely, that's definitely. And yeah, I think I said it before, but I remember when I was able to interview the voice actor of Baxter, that he told me that he brought some memories from his own mother into this storyline, and this then it even hits harder, I gotta say.
Yeah, gosh. All right, well, we're at the main course of our podcast here with our four-parter with the secret history of the Foot Clan.
Yes, four-parter secret of history of the Foot Clan. First off, the art in this book is by Matteo Santaluco, who turns into, or starting with this, he turns into one of my all-time favorite TMNT artists, because I just freaking love his style. He's just so good. And yeah, this is like a very big storyline, a very big, very good storyline. So let's get it on. The story starts in feudal Japan, where a samurai called Takeshi Tatsuyo almost gets killed, but he gets saved by a mysterious person who heals him with some green ooze. And yeah, then he founds the Foot Clan. So in the present time, there's a historian called Dr. Miller who found pages from a book called The History of the Foot Clan. And Karai confronts Dr. Miller because she wants to get his information. So in the past, back Takeshi Tatsuyo allies himself with a mysterious witch named Kitsune. She gives him ooze to make him immortal. But Oroku Machi, who was the father of Oroku Saki, kills Takeshi Tatsuyo because it's like, okay, he's walking down the dark path and that's not the right path for the Foot Clan. So then we see, at the end, we see Kitsune nearing a portal to get more ooze from a mysterious iron demon who, may or may not be a very familiar ooze way back in feudal Japan. So yeah, that's the first issue. That's just the first issue. The Foot Clan.
Whew. Dude, that hits deep, man. It hits deep, and especially just, I can see why you enjoyed the artwork of this gentleman you mentioned. Just like the fire, just the details. Again, I've always been very detail oriented, and I'm sure you are too. It's the little things we appreciate, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And yeah, there. Once again, little flash forward here. There later on, there is a storyline called Shredder in Hell, and in this storyline, this is a miniseries. The art to this day, it blows me away. It's also by Matteo Santaluco, and it's just one of the most amazing artwork that I have ever seen, most detailed. So yeah, look forward to that.
Oh man, I can't wait. Oh, well, we got 3 more. Yep, keep them coming.
Let's get it on. Secret History of the Foot Clan, issue number 2. Dr. Miller goes with Karai because he's just interested. So wants to know more about the Foot Clan. Turtles, April, and Casey follow them. So we have a big chase sequence, big action sequence there. Back in the past, Oroku Saki turns out to be the reincarnation of Takeshi Tatsuyo, as it appears. So we also see Yoshi and Saki. Once again, they have this friendship rivalry. And Kitsune Kid then confronts Saki and tells him that he is born for great things. And yeah, she wants to help him to achieve these things. And meanwhile, in the present time, the Turtles start entering Shredder's building to get to Dr. Miller. And that's where issue number 2 ends.
Oof, coming up next, we've got number 3. Dude, I really enjoyed this back, and it's really cool to see Krangs start playing, or Neutron playing around here that we see here.
Yeah. So, issue number 3, there's once again big fight in this Foot Clan skyscraper, big fight with the Foot Clan. Turtles are in there to get Dr. Miller out. And, well, in the past, Orokusaki confronts his father, and he's about to kill him because of the influence by Kitsune, because she's always there in the background telling him, hey, you have to do this, you have to be better, you have to be stronger, and here to finish off everything that's holding you back. So yeah, let's get into issue number 4. Let's get it on, let's get it over. So Saki actually killed Machi, his own father, in the past. Then in the present, Turtles and company, after they got Dr. Miller out and had this big fight at the Foot Clan headquarters, they hide out at the Scara Bray bar. And the funny thing is that Mikey realizes that he can read and understand Japanese. So Shredder and the Foot Clan, they arrive at the bar and they attack. Dr. Miller goes to Shredder because he thinks that he can get more information. The Turtles, they are able to grab the Secret History of the Foot Clan book, and with this they find out that thanks to some ooze, Shredder is practically immortal. So Shredder wants Dr. Miller's help to find the sleeping body of Kitsune from way back then. Because in the past, Kitsune and Saki, they worked together, confronted the Iron Demon, attacked him, sent him back through the portal, took his ooze to make Saki once immortal. He is killed and put into a casket with ooze. And in the present, Karai was the one who reawakened him to, as he puts it, conquer the city made of light. And with this, this miniseries ends, and it's a wild one. And this is also the end of IDW Collection Volume 2.
You know, they do some great. I keep bringing back 2003 because that's my favorite, series. And they always had those nice cliffhangers. And they've done a good job in these first 2 books just to get the reader to be like, okay, I can take a deep breath now. I can grab a slice of pizza, and then I'll go back into number 3. So, what are some of your final thoughts here in book number 2?
Yeah, it just keeps going, and it's like just stuff that I really loved. When you know, like when you think you know everything what's going on, like, okay, I know now, okay, after the first volume, like, okay, we know Shredder and so on and so forth, we know who they are, but here we get so much more information about the past, how they are able to be in this time, how Shredder is like, okay, how Shredder can be here when he was in feudal Japan, and so on and so forth. All this information, all this background information, and the action, the whole Krang War storyline, which in other books, this would have been like the big final fight with Krang. But here, it's pretty much just the start of the Krang storyline. And yeah, and also I really like this micro-series because we get so much more information about this story, these characters, like the origin story, who they are, what they are, why they are doing what they're doing, and so on and so forth. So I cannot say enough good things about these stories, and yeah, we are just getting started.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to get 2 of these in, just because there's just so much to digest, and it's just, I know it's going to fly by every time we cover these. Just for a split, our goal was to get this around 90 minutes, and we are right around 90 minutes, dude. We did it once again. Congratulations. Thank you so much for giving us these nice little backgrounds here. We have a few extra minutes. Do you have a favorite character that you're more, like, the most, like, I guess, like, your first time you were reading it? Is there somebody you wanted to know more about? For me, I want to know more about Karai, why she takes this, and I'm looking forward to see where her story goes. And how about this Get Me Leonardo? Is that really, tickling your tickling your interest bones, or what are you looking at best so far?
Yeah, the whole thing, as you said, with Shredder, Karai, and Leonardo is like, back then I wasn't sure, like, okay, where this is going, because it felt like it came out of left field. But yeah, that's once again, it's gonna be big. But especially with Krang, like Krang is still like pretty much a mysterious character. We now know where he's coming from, what he wants, and so on and so forth. But it's like, okay, so where is this going with the Technodrome and so on and so forth? And like we have all this different fractions here. We have the Turtles, we have Shredder and the Foot Clan, we have Krang, and they're not connected in a real way, like Shredder, Krang working together or anything. So like okay, I need more. Like, so will Shredder and Krang work together to fulfill the goals or anything? And the whole thing also in the past with mysterious Kitsune, like, who is she? What is she? There's once again, they build up these little mysteries, and then they go full blown into like the big storyline later on, like just like little tidbits here and there that really pay off later on. And yeah, they just know what they're doing here.
Yeah, and how about again, we already talked about Splinter's anger issues that he got resolved. I like the Casey Jones spot. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we didn't cover. How about Michelangelo's buddy Woody? That was probably the most emotional I got, man. I was sad for that.
Yeah, I did not even mention that. He was like, Woody is this guy who works at this pizzeria where Mikey gets his pizza from, and he's like, they're best buddies, they're best friends. It's like really nice. I mean, as I said, Mikey is always the one who wants to meet up with people, who wants to be normal, to be out there, and it's like just like, it's right that Mikey and Woody are so good friends. But then the whole Slash happens, and Woody gets attacked by Slash. And then he leaves a note to Mikey that's like, okay, I took a glimpse into your world. I saw this monster, and I cannot take this anymore. So he splits with Mikey, and Mikey he really takes it hard. And it's like, really feel for Mikey, because he just wants to be part of the real world. He wants to be there with the people, and then this gets ripped away from him, and it really breaks my heart to see Mikey this way.
That was one of the big ones. The other two I wanted to point out is there's really not much joking in this comic. It's pretty much, if Mikey's not joking, there's really no wisecracks. Maybe a pun, like a well-timed pun to get a joke in there. And so I really appreciate the tone, but also I wanted to mention this. This was the other big shocker in that Secret Foot Clan. Shredder hits Karai. Now, that usually you don't really see, a man hitting a woman. And again, that's his granddaughter he's doing it. So how shocked were you seeing that on the page? Because I had to put the book down for a second, like, whoa.
Oh, yeah, there's like, you can really feel the anger from Shredder. And yeah, Shredder is just so intimidating. And he doesn't take it back even from his own family, and is like, okay, I mean, when Shredder goes around and kills other characters, beats up other characters, it's okay. But hitting a young woman, no, dude, that's way across the line. I'm totally there with you, because that's really a moment like, whoa, okay, that's really not cool. It's like, okay, Shredder is badass, but no, you don't hit women. That's not right. I'm all there with you, Mike.
Yeah, that was the big shock. I think the writers just want to say, no, this man is 100% evil. There's no soft spots here. It's 100% evil all the way. That's what his body's made of. So Dude, it's been great. It's been fun. I can't wait to break down books 3 and 4 with you in the near future. We know you have a podcast, but I'm also going to give a shout out to your YouTube channel here because this week you broke down something that I didn't even know existed. So feel free to share that with us as well as your podcast.
Yes, you're totally right. So yeah, first off, as you should know by now, TMNT The Talk is my podcast. If you want to hear more from me, talking turtles, talking turtle comics, and so much more. So check out Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Talk. Just go to the website TMNTTALK.com to find all the stuff. But yeah, you also find a link to my YouTube channel. And I don't do that much on the YouTube channel, but when I do, you should check it out. Like this week, I made a video, a card unpacking video, where I showed off the newest trading card game that's made by Panini. And because, I also wanted to know more about this because I did not find much information about this new trading card game. So I'm showing off some of the cards, like what is it about. So if you want to get a feeling, even though the video is in German, because I'm also from Austria, but just to see some of the cards, to get a feeling what these cards are about, check out the video on the YouTube channel of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Talk.
It's a fantastic layout, my friend. Dude, we love you, Christian. We hope you have a phenomenal weekend, and we'll see you back here next week, hopefully.
Oh, definitely.
Another episode of Shellonomics is in the books. If you guys have not yet checked out all of our other amazing episodes, we've had amazing guests. We've talked about the 1987 cartoon, 2003 cartoon, Next Mutation, Coming Out of Their Shells, video games, the comics, crossover comics like Batman and the Power Rangers, and tons of amazing content with you guys, the fans. Be sure to stop by our YouTube channel, Spotify, and Twitch. And if you have somebody who'd like to be on the show, get in touch with us at kingmikedas@gmail.com. That's KINGMIKEDAS@gmail.com.